Hi, and welcome back to this week's edition of Hawk Talk. I'm Coulter Hickok, and I'm joined here probably by the most returning guest that we've ever had on, but we're always happy to have you on, Coach, so please introduce yourself again, who you are, where you're from, and what do you do here at DSU?
Yeah, I'm Pete Stanton. I'm the athletic director at Dickinson State University, also the head football coach here as well, and thanks for having me on again.
Absolutely. Proud Baker, Montana native as well, I should mention.
Yes, yeah, for sure, for sure.
So since you are the head football coach, how's kind of the off-season training going right now?
Everything's going well. You know, we have about 85 returners going right now. We don't have all of those guys going because we have some that are in track and some that are in baseball. Quite a few that are in track, a lot of our throwers there. So, but it's going really well. Our guys come in 3 groups in the morning, 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, and 8 in the morning, and they work out 4 days a week, do speed, agility, strength type of things, and they did that all. They've done that all the month of January, and they're continuing that through February, and then we'll do that up to spring break.
So you said we have 85 returners, is that correct?
Correct.
Are any of those seniors going to come back that we just said goodbye to?
We haven't gotten that far yet. You know, right now we haven't gotten this far yet. As far as the ones that could get another year with the COVID, there are a couple of guys that have that opportunity if they want to. Most of the guys who have graduated, and so we really aren't pushing that part of it if they've already graduated and then they're done. As several of them are going on to their careers already. A couple of them are going in, to pre-professional, to whether it's med school or PT school. So that's exciting time for those guys right now.
Absolutely. And then, so we're going to be coming up to the spring ball season. When is the spring game scheduled?
So what we do with the spring is we try to get a couple practices in right before spring break, which is a couple weeks from now. And whether the weather's good or not at that point, or whether we can get out in the field or not, we're still going to try to do a couple just to get the guys in the right frame of mind, have some meetings, and then we'll come back after spring break and we'll go until about the middle of April. And then that middle of April, that 14th, 15th, depending on the weather, is where we'll try to have a spring game. And really the whole goal of spring ball is we want to get as much as we can get done, but it's really a time for a lot of our younger guys as well that maybe redshirted last year that didn't get an opportunity to do as many of the Dickinson State offensive or defensive things, and really gives them an opportunity to go out and relearn those things that maybe they only did for a couple weeks last year. And then also gives us coaches a chance just to really evaluate. We lost a lot of seniors last year. We lost 18 seniors, so it gives us a chance to reevaluate where we're at and what we need to do going forward, and see which guys that redshirted last year can step up into the roles they needed to step up into.
Gotcha. I was even thinking maybe Shell Osborne, who wasn't even a part of the team last year, came in during the off season. Kind of be a big test for him to see what he's been missing for the last couple of years.
No question. Shell comes in from Laurel and your hometown, and we have a few cases like that where guys may transferred in. We have a couple different transfers that came in at semester time, and they'll get a chance to really prove themselves. Guys, like I said, guys like that, and guys that redshirted maybe that last year, that meaning they didn't play as freshmen last year. We didn't use any eligibility, and we want to be able to find out where they're at. We got 5 or 6 all conference guys that are returning, so we know where those guys are at, but it's really the time to build our depth and see going into next year who can get in and help us on the field.
Absolutely. And then, so we got a busy time right now for Blue Hawk athletics, the winter season especially. I mean, we got the regular season just wrapping up with basketball. I mean, as the athletic director, do you just find yourself like in awe of how the Hawks are doing right now?
And it's a very hectic time. It's a fun time of year, but we're really happy with the things that have happened for Dickinson State. And as you mentioned, in basketball, we just we've had great crowds at Dickinson State all year, and a huge deal for both our men and women to win that playoff game and go to Watertown and get a chance to play in the Final Four there. I think our women played our best game of the year, and our men have been really good all year. They're fun to watch. They have a couple Dickinson guys that are doing great on the team, and just been really happy with their progress. So it'll be exciting to see how they do. Our competitive cheer team is down in Oklahoma City right now, and they have a very good chance of making it to the national competition like they did last year, so they'll have an opportunity to do that, and that's a couple weeks away out in Michigan, where they finished 4th in the nation last year. So, that's exciting for them as well. Indoor track, we've had an unbelievable year, particularly on the women's side. The men did well; they got 2nd place, qualified a couple guys for the national track meet, but the women qualified 13 athletes for the national track meet, and that's the most we've had in the women that I can ever remember on the women's side. We set several school records, several conference records, another Laurel product, Grace Tim, and Rinzi Rosinski. I could go on and on and on about, we have people all over the Nagel girl in the shot, and people all over the place that are just performing at a high level for our track team. So it's going to be exciting to watch them compete at the national meet here in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. And then softball, baseball, they're kind of just starting up. But some big exciting news that we have here in Dickinson is we have the new softball complex. So what are the plans to kind of have that big grand opening for the community of Dickinson?
Yeah, we're really excited about that, and can't be more excited about the support that we've received from so many people in the Dickinson community, from the businesses, the companies, the corporations all over the place that has helped us make this facility a reality. And right now they're finishing up the indoor part of it. The press box and the concession area and the locker rooms and the dugout area should be completed here by the middle of March, and all that area will be done. The championship field, which will be Brevera Field, and within the Sanford complex, that we still have about half of the rubber and sand to get into the field to get that completed. We're hoping to do that here in a couple weeks, and then the grand opening, or the opening game that we'll have, would be the end of March, and that's where we'll play the first game on the facility, and it'll be an exciting time, and we plan to have some things to go along with that. And the other thing that, well, just so people know as well, is the other 3 fields will be a little bit behind, because those 3 fields are grass outfields. So we still have to put the sod in there, and those will be more playable when we get into the summer. But the championship field the plan is that we will play there, and of course, really exciting too, as we get into the spring, we're going to have not only that, we're going to have a conference championship for softball. We're also going to host the conference championship for baseball and the conference championship for track and field. So you're going to have a lot to look forward to talk about in this show later, but that's exciting.
Absolutely. And then, as the head football coach, we have this giant hawk on the 50-yard line of the football field. Now, Kristen Fleury probably saw that, and she's like, I think we can do this better. Is it a little kind of envious that the softball now has the bigger hawk on their field than the football field?
Not at all. We're excited. We're excited for them that they have to have that. And when we looked at it, and we looked at everything, we just thought it would be a great feature to have that size out there. So no, that's exciting.
So I guess Dallas Mitchell, she showed me a picture of, she was in a plane and she could see the hawk from when they were flying around Dickinson. So it's big enough to see from the skies of Dickinson.
Yeah, it's just going to be really exciting. It's just been a partnership, like I said, of a lot of people, and the schools and the park and rec are going to be involved with, particularly when the soccer complex comes along, and it's just going to be a regional project. It's going to be really something that Dickinson and the area are going to be proud of. It's just going to be awesome. There's not going to be a facility like it. I mean, how many facilities can your women come off the softball field and walk right into their locker rooms from the dugout? And it's just going to be a great thing for everyone. And like I said, the support has been unbelievable. And what it's going to do for our city, attracting more tournaments, attracting people and teams to come in here. We've already, both the high school and the university have heard from outside groups to come in and play. So it's going to be an exciting thing for not only our university, but for the entire community.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm super excited. Kind of, maybe we might even have to do Blue Hawk game day on the opening day for the softball complex.
You have a perfect setup to be able to do that right above there, and we have seating now, and it's good. The championship field is going to be you're going to be elevated to be able to see down on the championship field and facing out to the Dickinson State campus. It'd be a perfect setting for you to do that when we're on the opening day.
I think we might have to have our first guest for Blue Hawk game day softball edition as you. you.
I would be glad to do it.
That'd be kind of sweet, honestly.
Be happy to do that.
And now I'm kind of thinking of a different question that goes away from all of the great and exciting things that are happening at Dickinson. One of our conference opponents, they have disbanded after this season. What does that kind of mean going forward?
Yeah, well, it does cause some juggling that we have to do with presentation not being here, and we've already started it on some of the sports, and really the sports that it affects the most, are men's and women's basketball, softball, baseball, and football is where it's going to affect the most. A little bit in golf as well, but teams are going to be adding there. But if you look at wrestling and track and competitive cheer, it's not going to have as big an effect because they weren't involved in that anyway. But it really is going to change. We had to juggle our football schedule, so we had to end up picking up an extra game in football for the sport that I coach. But basketball, we've had to rearrange schedule, and then one team, Mayville State, was the travel partner with presentation. So how do you do all that? So there's a lot of moving parts on there. It's unfortunate. It's too bad. I feel for their athletes that lost that opportunity to finish there and do that. But we're making it work out. We've got out ahead. What we just did is did the 23-24 schedules for now. We didn't go anything else too long term, and but it's going to be more just a scheduling part of it, to trying to rearrange all that.
That's awesome. Well, kind of moving off of a somber note now, we had mentioned all the great things that are happening at DSU in the future. So I got to ask you, Coach, you've probably been asked this not a million times, but close to a million at least. What does DSU mean to you?
Oh, it's a special place. In the softball complex is the perfect example. You have a community coming together and doing all these great things, to support the university, to support the high schools. And I think Dickinson State's there's always been a special place, and it's all about the people. It's about the students that we have. You doing the things that you do, and so many other students. And you look at the basketball games, and it's always all about the students. And I think that's the number one thing for me, is seeing students that are doing their thing here, and then going on and be really successful after here. And so that's what means a lot to me too, as the athletic director and as a coach, to see our students, just doing great things here and within our community at Dickinson, then also to watch them go on later and do great things as well. I do want to point out too, and one more thing, if you talk about the future, I also want to point out the past a little bit. Another feature we have next week is we have two of our former track and field athletes. If you remember the name, Ramon Miller and Trevor Berry, two of the greatest track and field athletes in Dickinson State history, but also in the history of the NAI. We're going to be able to go down next week, and they're going to be inducted into the NAI National Hall of Fame. And the viewers remember that Ramon Miller was an Olympic gold medalist and won the first Olympic gold medal for the country of the Bahamas, and Trevor was placed at the World Championship. So these guys were world-class athletes. So it's going to be really exciting to go down there to Brookings as a part of the national track meet to honor those guys. And our track team, our current track team, will be there to be able to spend some time with them. So that's another exciting thing that we're looking forward to, and just a real tribute to those two as well.
That's honestly super cool. So, Coach, thank you very much for coming on. It's always been a pleasure having you on here.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for all you do.
Not a problem. We'll be back right after this.
Thank you. I'm Abby, here with Coach Mike Dahl today. You want to tell us a little about yourself and what you do here at DSU?
So my name is Mike Dahl. I am the head baseball coach.
It's been super nice outside, I guess, other than today, for the last couple days, and you were able to take your team outside. How is it being able to get out of Weenbergen?
It's been amazing. We've kind of had the indoor stir crazy, so getting outside and being able to just take our own balls, fly balls, being able to long toss a little bit, It's kind of rejuvenated our team a little bit, got us a little bit more excitement the last few days of practice, a little bit more focus. They can kind of see that end goal of playing games next weekend. So it's been good. It's been fun. Hopefully Mother Nature will figure itself out here in the next couple days. We'll get outside next week again.
As you can tell by the schedule, there's some games coming up in the next few weeks. Where are you playing and who do you play?
So opening weekend, we are going to Omaha, Nebraska. We have rented a high school field down there. It's all turf. And we are playing Graceland University for 4 games.
What does your prep look like for that weekend?
We have live matchups tomorrow night, Saturday again, kind of prepping for those games, and then that'll take us right into a week of practice where we just try to fine-tune everything. At that point, it's just going to make sure everybody's healthy, getting treatment if they need it, getting pitchers on schedule of when they might potentially throw, giving our hitters probably a good couple rounds of batting practice, and just hopefully getting excited to play. That's probably the biggest thing, just getting the excitement going. So.
Shortly after your haul to Nebraska, we see you make the trip down to Arizona. What does your prep kind of look like for that?
I mean, same thing. When we come back after our opening weekend, we have a full week of practice where we can kind of assess how we did that first weekend out, maybe work on some things, get outside again, and just really kind of, again, get everybody healthy, get everybody back on track, focused on, okay, this is what we need to improve upon, and then just get ready to play. And again, just have fun. We need to get outside and play. And we can't really assess anything until we play games.
So the opportunity to play in Arizona probably helps your team in more ways than one. What do you feel like is the greatest benefit?
Well, for one, we have a really good recruiting base down there, so that helps with our recruitment. It allows even our southern kids to get back home and see family and friends, which they probably haven't seen since maybe winter break, or if they didn't go home, maybe even Thanksgiving. So giving them the opportunity to play in front of family, friends, where maybe the family can't come up to North Dakota to watch us play, that's a huge opportunity for them. It gives our northern Midwest guys an opportunity to go down south and play in warm weather, which maybe they're not used to until summer. So it's kind of an overall good trip for us. Just a good opportunity all the way around for everyone.
And this year we have a special occurrence. In May we host the conference tournament. So what is your mindset of your team? How do you think that'll help or hurt them?
I think it'll give the guys kind of the ease of mind to sleep in their own bed, to kind of relax, play in front of obviously our fans, our home crowd, the students of DSU as well, and don't have to be on the road. You know, I mean, we've been on the road a lot. We'll be on the road a lot this year, so it'll be nice to play home games and an opportunity for everyone to see our facilities and go through games, and hopefully it's a good tournament. I know softball is going to be here as well, so that'll be a good crowd, hopefully, for us and them.
Thank you for taking the time for us. Back to you.
Thanks, Abby. You just saw Abby Clute talking with Coach Mike Dahl right before they're about to head to Arizona for their annual spring break trip. Let's get into the recap. So basketball, we just finished the regular season of the men's and women's basketball teams' schedules. They ended up winning their playoff games, so congrats to both of those teams. I should say they won their playoff games in order to get them into the Final Four. Make sure you check out the DSU Blue Hawk site to see the results of that game. We got track, like Coach Stan said, we got 13 girls, or 13 Hawks in general, going to the Nationals in Brookings, South Dakota. They just got done with the national meet. I should just say that. They got done with the national meet. They're going to take a little break. They're going to go right into the indoor season after this little break. Softball, they are headed to Arizona for their annual spring break trip for their tournament down there. Baseball, they're also headed to Arizona for their spring break trip. They're actually going to start conference down there. They have their very first game of conference against Valley City in Arizona, so that's kind of cool. Get away from the cold weather of North Dakota, which it is right now. Golf, believe it or not, they're also headed to Arizona for their spring break trip. You gotta get the warm weather before you get the cold weather. You know, something with your muscles, something like that. Cheer, they just competed in the Midwest Regional Qualifier. To find out how they did, make sure you check out the DSU Blue Hawks site. And then theater, they just did their recent production of Happily Ever Before this past weekend. Congrats to the theater department, DSU Arts. You guys always kill it with your awesome shows. You can follow us on our different social medias at DSU Foundation on Instagram and at DSU Heritage on Twitter. Thank you to Coach Stanton. Thank you to everybody who was involved with the show. Ron and Trace, you guys are awesome. Fans, sponsors, thank you guys very much. Till next week, Hawks are up.